Cast Live. I'm your host, Raphael, alongside Michael. This is season 3, episode 109, brought to you by Tea Time Teas. You know, we got a great show today with a special guest, Mark Strong from the PGA of British Columbia. And our new sponsor, Howard Blumino from Tea Time Teas, wasn't able to make it on, but we just want to give him a big shout out for partnering with us. And it's the only tea you will ever need. Lots of things in the headlines, but let's roll this video for our Tea Times because we got some big headlines, including truck golf and other things.
All right, this is kind of a cool comparison with this Tea Time tee. It's so easy to get this ball basically on there as I hold this in my hand. If I go and use a traditional tee, it's very hard for me. Whoa, I can barely get that thing to stay on the tee. As you can see, it's got to be super balanced, but so easy to fall off. This thing, I'm not even thinking about it. It just goes right on the tee, no problem.
Yeah, so basically a really great product, Mike. I love it a lot. It's got a lot of great features. And it reminds me of like some of the older tees that are on the market, but it has the piece that you could push it in. It's three and 1/4 inch length. It conforms to all the USGT regulations. And, if you get a clean shot of the ball, we all know that you get longer distance and more accuracy.
One of the members at my former golf club, Mayfair Lakes, who plays to a 5 handicap, he swears by these tees. He uses them all the time. So I'm very curious to try it out. We'll have to talk to Howard about sending us a bag.
Check them out at teatimetees.golf. It's a great website. You could order it directly, and it's a flexible tee that doesn't break all the time. And all right.
We'll paste links in the bio, and that's great. So
awesome.
Let's bring in our special guest.
Yeah, we're going to roll right into the show.
There he
fantastic.
Is. Mr. Strong
word.
Patiently waiting in the waiting room. Appreciate that, Mark.
Of course.
So who do we have with us? Well, it's our special guest, Mark Strong from the PGA of British Columbia. Welcome to the show. We're excited to have you here.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. How's your weekend, Mark? You watching a lot of golf or playing or what?
I caught a little bit of golf. I caught kind of the end of the Arnold Palmer anyways. And I did get to play a little bit. My son and I went to played a little simulator golf, actually, with the weather being kind of what it was. We played out at House of Golf in Langley and got a round in at St. Andrews, as a matter of fact.
Looks like a great facility. What's it like?
Very, simple, straightforward, but very cool. It's a great vibe in there. We've seen simulator facilities kind of popping up all over the place. And so it'd be interesting to see where that goes. But for a place to go, and whether you want to practice and, really look at your data, or you just want to have some fun and play on a golf courses, there's actually some pretty cool kids games and things like that available as well. So, these are fun facilities, especially, this time of year when even in Vancouver, we consider golf year round with an asterisk beside it. So, it can be nice.
There are tons of them opening up, especially in Richmond. Do you think we'll see it get oversaturated, or do we have enough golfers here to support these facilities?
I think with how quickly and I don't want to say haphazardly, but with just the saturation that you're talking about coming, we'll probably see a little bit of a recess, or a few of them maybe not landing on exactly their feet. One of the things I think is going to be interesting for these facilities is landing on an identity. Because, like we were just saying, you can have an entertainment kind of angle. You could have a family focused angle. You could have a hardcore, more instruction, almost like a country club replacement kind of angle as well. So, and it's always tough to overlap, all those different things at the same time. So, I think the facilities that kind of land on their identity and stay true to that will probably have the most success.
Well, before we get into it here today. There are some big headlines. In Newsweek, we saw that Donald Trump's golf course got wrecked by pro-Palestinian protesters in Scotland. Very unfortunate. On golf.com, Phil Mickelson confident for the Masters after his best live finish yet in Hong Kong, while Sergio Garcia wins. Russell Henley, of course, Great win by him over at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Ryo Takada of Japan wins her second LPGA title in China. And, you know, YouTube golf and social media golf and influencers are all the rage these days. And Grant Horvat gets 1.8 million views on his 2v2 with Phil Mickelson, John Daly Jr., and it's just growing, which is the amount of views small tournaments get on the PGA Tours, like the John Deere, which blows my mind. Some of the big things. Anything stand out to you guys?
Mark, I'll kick it to you first. You're the guest.
Well, you know, a little bit of reflection here. I remember I had a chance to go to, I've been a Callaway staff player for a while now, and was on a family vacation last year. Had a chance to go to the head office in Carlsbad and pop in and see Callaway. It's a really cool factory that they got there. But anyway, when I was there about 7 or 8 years ago the first time, and you walked in and you saw Phil Mickelson's staff bag there and Ernie, you know, at the time, I think. And this time when I went in, same place, the same staff bags were there, except it was Good and Bob Does Sports were the two bags that they had kind of prominently featured in when you walk into the main lobby there. So that's a pretty good indicator right there that, you know, times are changing. And I happened to, this not just this last weekend, but was watching golf, I believe the week before, and in the main living room, and asked my son if he wanted to kind of come watch it. And he was actually watching some of the same players, but doing their YouTube content. So he was almost more interested in kind of engaging with their good, or, you know, the YouTube content than he was actually watching the same people kind of compete and play. So same kind of thing, you know, it's a different world now in terms of, you know, media and where the eyeballs are. And it's interesting to see how the companies are responding to that change in eyeballs.
And with the players coming up this weekend, there's a 9-hole match with all of the golf influencers, if you will, attached to this tournament, which should draw some eyeballs. The
Creators Cup, or I know they did one last year, I want to say, or maybe towards the second half of last year, that I think was very successful, and so probably going to see more and more of it.
You think about how Bob Does Sports got started, heckling from, you know, politely in his own way, you know, from outside the ropes, right? Trying to talk to players and, you know, utilizing social media, and he's built it into $1 million business. It's really something to see. And Joey Coldcuts is a local BC boy too, so which is pretty cool.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's the different pathways now that you can, you know, kind of carve into, whether it's on the media side or you know, as an influencer.
Well, I'm really interested to talk about what you guys are doing at the PGA of British Columbia. I know you guys have a big schedule coming up. Tell us about some of your initiatives and programs that you have going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a professional organization for our members, you know, we kind of serve them first and foremost. So we've started a lot of our education is kind of going on right now. Had a big feature seminar recently last month, and are running a bunch of series now, some more regional education series. Give our chance to members to collaborate with each other and you know, share best practices and things like that. And then we do ramp up into our tournament season here pretty soon. In May, we'll really start kicking off all of our events and championships. Have a pretty full calendar there. But then we do, once June hits, we actually run into a few of our community initiatives. One of the big ones that we've been really proud to partner with for a number of years now, running into a couple of decades, is the Golfathon for ALS. So that's one that a big portion of our members have pretty passionately participated in for a number of years now. And we're really proud that we've actually just cracked the $3 million mark in raising funds over those 20 years. So there's a whole bunch of people that can contribute to that over that time, but that's a very proud one for us to partner with, one that we know has an actual impact on patients who you know, see an improvement in their lifestyles. So, but we also have two participation initiatives that are very important to us in trying to grow the game. Women's Golf Week will show up at the very end of May and run into the beginning of June, from the 29th, I believe it is, to June 3rd. And we'll have a whole bunch of our PGA of BC facilities. We'll be putting on extra events, instructional clinics, you know, games, 9-hole rounds, things like that, specifically targeted for women especially newer women, new to the game, beginning golfers. And so we give out some extra some funds and prizes and things like that for all the events that are going on. So that's one that this year we're happy to partner with Golf Canada's She Plays Golf initiative.
Nice.
The larger program that they've got, and has a great tournament schedule attached to that. So it's been great to see that formalize a little more over the last couple of years. And it's still a huge area that golf has to benefit from, is getting more women in the game. And more as pros, as an association. I mean, it's a small percentage of our membership, and that's an area we want to see big change coming forward. And then July we get to do a similar kind of angle with junior golf. So we've had our junior golf weeks run for a number of years now. We've been very happy to partner with the Vancouver Canucks, and so have usually able to do a couple different initiatives with them throughout the year, all targeted around introducing new juniors to golf as well. And so it's, for if it's their first or second time in seeing the game, these are kind of perfect type clinics where they get exposed to it, get off on the right foot, and hopefully have a real fun time that encourages them to keep going with golf.
A little side note, my great-grandfather is a superintendent at St. Andrews, then moved to Ontario in the early 1900s. And him and his business partner started a women-only tournament in those days. It still runs to this day. It's called the Hunter Armitage Trophy. And it's still all women only. And he was a huge proponent of getting women into golf, and which led my grandmother to be Ontario Ladies Champion back in, over 100 years ago now.
That's very impressive and very, forward thinking at the time. So great for them.
Probably controversial at the time, really.
Likely, yeah.
Well, Mark, I'll tell you, you got to invite Mike and myself out to your sponsor media appreciation invitational at the University Golf Club. I think you do that in May.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, that's right. It'll be the first Monday in May. I think it's the 5th. So I think Graham's got you guys on the email list, so you'll definitely see that coming out here pretty soon.
Excellent. I'm out in Toronto. Not sure if I'll be able to make it out, but certainly Mike would love to go out.
I'll be there.
And you got the Ping Tournament of Champions at Fairview Mountain Golf Club, Cobra Puma Golf Assistance Championships at Meadow Gardens Golf Club, the Seniors Championship. That's the category Mike and I fall into, presented by Homa Golf and Levelware. That's really good. At Cordova Bay Golf Course. Mike, Mark, are you guys familiar with that club? Because I never played there when I lived out there.
I played it a long time ago.
Yeah, I got to play it myself back in my college days or university golf. We'd play it every winter. It was always really good shape in the wintertime. So it was nice to go out and play there. And it's a facility that's been interested in hosting the seniors for a little while. So we, a couple of years ago, combined our women's and seniors fields into the same event, made a bigger deal out of the whole thing. And so that's gone really well. So no, we're very excited we actually have a few events on the island this year. And it should be, all of our events have been filling up the last number of years. So it's been, healthy participation. It actually allowed us to add a new event this year, the Pro, which will kind of take any two of our members. Don't have to be from the same facility, which they do for, one of our other events, just as kind of a competitive outlet. And as we were talking about earlier, we've added some simulator competitions to our calendar as well. And I've been surveying our members to see how we may even be able to enhance that, and evolve that kind of going forward, just being at the start of it right now.
Tell us a little bit about that Regional Pro Junior Series. I don't think you have a venue, but registration does open up on April 1st.
So this used to be a provincial championship, and pre-COVID, and then no surprise, during the first couple of COVID years, this event really kind of went away, or didn't happen for a couple of years. We brought it back and tweaked it to be a regional event or 4 events instead of one provincial one, and actually we exponentially increased participation. So we found it a lot easier for our professionals and their facilities to send teams more regionally, kind of for a one-day trip than for a multi-day travel. And so very happy to see that go that way. So we will be announcing the 4 host sites for that here very soon. And that's kind of a neat one, because we try and pick host facilities that have a little extra activity, kind of attached to it. Last year, for example, we got to go out to Cultus Lake, really cool par 3, kind of out by the resort area out there. But there's a a live putting course out there, actual grass, not kind of mini golf, so to speak. And so it was a fun kind of add-on activity for our juniors to participate in there. So we look for it's actually a nice series where we get to feature facilities that wouldn't otherwise be able to host certain events. And so we really take a lot of pride in being able to show off all the different kinds of cool facilities that we've got here in BC.
Well, Mike, we got some questions in our chat here. Well, one of the things that people are asking, they want us to do our players picks. Not part of the conversation right now, but I don't know. It's going to be a great event, obviously at Sawgrass, the flagship event of the PGA Tour. I'm excited to watch it. Always wonderful to see Brando Chambly out on the 17th hole, watching that island green, making his commentary, always being controversial. But when the winds are up, because we know that in Florida, we could play pretty easy, but that Pete Dye course is something special. And it's really become, obviously, not only a signature event, but they're major. Mm-hmm. They're major, and it's great to see the players. Any thoughts on the golf course or the players?
Well, first off, if you check out the PGA BC socials, especially on Instagram at PGA of BC, we actually will have some pros picks coming out shortly, kind of throughout this week. Nice. So we'll ask some of our members this very same question. Name I kind of first came to my mind is Corey Connors, and I don't mind being a little home biased here and picking a Canadian, especially in this day and age. But coming off, a great finish at Bay Hill. I mean, watching him yesterday,
that's right.
If he'd had a couple putts just fall the other way. He hit the ball like he can, and so if he does that there, he should be in pretty good shape again, I would think.
I like that pick. And Scheffler's looking at his third, so
can't go wrong with picking him. I don't think
it's a pretty safe pick, and he's been trending. He's golf's been it's actually been really interesting. Like last year, I mean, there's been so much golf on TV the last couple of years. With this, new tours, live tour out there, there's so much to watch. But this year, I find it's been more compelling. I've been finding myself watching more this year. The PGA Tour has been pretty solid. This last week with Henley chipping in for eagle, had that ball ran by the hole, threatened the water. But it just was a really interesting finish, especially with Corey Connors knocking on the door.
Well, I've got two picks, but I'm just going to throw out one. Ludwig Oberg, the kid's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's an amazing golfer, ball flight like I've almost never seen before. And I would always encourage our listeners and our viewers to actually go to an event to watch professionals play, because then you'll realize you don't really play golf. You'll see the launch of a ball and how they shape the ball and how they carry themselves around the golf course. It is phenomenal.
The audio.
I was going to say for golfers that haven't seen that level of play, go to the range and listen to the sound that their golf shots make. And it's a different impact noise, but also very consistent. And the shots that they hit. One thing that I don't think gets appreciated is how tough the setups are for those events. Aren't middle pins where they have all kinds of room to hit it. These are 3 paces on the edge all day long, and it's really easy to make bogeys and doubles out there. So those guys are good.
Not to mention how thick the cut is. Like I've played TPC Scottsdale about 10 days before the tournament, and they had graduated the rough. The further away you got from the fairway, the deeper it was, and the local rule for the day was you could move your ball up towards the fairway into the first cut if you wanted to. But it was really deep, like out there, like beyond ankle deep. So that's you just don't see that in your typical public or private setup for members.
Yeah, it's
go ahead.
I was just going to say the difference from a scratch golfer to a PGA Tour pro is not a couple few shots. It's like 9 or 10 around, and the course makeup or setups do blur that fact a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
and especially with that Pete Dye design, that Pete Dye design is really conducive to you having to hit the ball straight. Now the rough isn't that long, but there's lots of water. Those bunkers are strategically placed like no other place, in my opinion. I've never played there. I've never been there. And we don't really have a Sawgrass story except for when Len Matisse came on and told us he got hit by a ball by Bryson DeChambeau. And when Bryson approached him, he didn't even know who he was, signed the ball and gave it to him. Len didn't bother saying anything, but he used it to auction off at his charity and then make a few $1,000s. So that's great.
Yeah, it's a funny story. But
I'll give for Len, though.
Yeah, Pete, he's earned that nickname, Pete Must Die, because he's just diabolical. I've been lucky enough to play a handful of his courses, and they're all designed to, fairways will feed over to the bunkers, and the trouble's lurking everywhere, and especially at Sawgrass.
And usually his courses visually are intimidating too.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you get up to certain tees and there's nowhere to hit this ball. And, sure enough, there's just enough room on most of the holes. But, they're known for a challenge. And as you were kind of alluding to earlier, moving this event into March, I think they get more wind and weather than they did when the event was in May. And that's so right. I think it is a much different challenge.
Reminds me of Fraser Mulholland's tournament. So he used to go down to Palm Springs. A bunch of us were down there, and one of our competitors was just getting beat up in those bunkers all day long. He ends up tossing his 3-iron or whatever iron. It wasn't his 3 because he was in a fairway bunker, but tossing it nearly hits me and another player, ducking out of the carts, and it just ruined this guy for the day. He probably drank about 6 extra beers after that round.
Not Peace Dye's first victim, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, let's bring up one guy who is easy to talk about, somebody who we always wonder if he's going to play or not. That's Mr. Tiger Woods. Obviously, after his mom's death and the things that he's been going through, rehab, whatnot, do you think he'll be showing up at the Masters? I'll go with you, Mark, first.
Masters, yes. Almost anything else, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for one of the reasons is he could probably still limp around that place and maybe, if not contend, I think still put a very respectable showing up. I'm one of the people that wrote him off before he won his last one there, so I'm hesitant to totally.
Well, I think we all did.
Sure, but that's a place where he's got, I think, a pretty good fit for his game and his familiarity, and knows how to play it. So I'd watch out for him there annually, and maybe apart from that, on his TGL. I don't know how much else he'll play walking around golf.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't have to walk very far in those events. But he was noticeably walking better at the PNC, and things like bending over to get the ball out of the cup, right, looked more comfortable for him over the last couple of years. I agree. I don't think we're going to see him until the Masters, and he'll be able to run on adrenaline and history and get it done. We'd all be thrilled.
Yeah, he seems like he doesn't have that half cringe look on him anymore when he's walking.
Yeah,
where he's kind of cringed up and looks like he's in a bit of pain, but he's holding it in and bending down to pick up his ball. It looks like he's walking well.
And we all know it's a hard game to play with any pain, no matter where it is in your body. It's and he's probably the greatest grinder of all time, arguably.
Mark, before we sign off, one of the things that we do on the show are funny and embarrassing stories. It's the first thing that comes to your mind, possibly, on a funny or embarrassing story, golf related, obviously. We've shared many stories with all our guests. So I don't know what's the first thing that pops into your head.
Ooh, I should definitely be self-deprecating and find something for myself. I'm sure I got plenty of embarrassing stories myself. The very first one that came to my mind, and only because I brought it up earlier about House of Golf, was I was there with my son a couple of months ago now, and we're playing in their upstairs bays, and I was playing a match on one, and he was doing some practice kind of right beside it, and heard a bit of a loud bang at one point, and had him kind of sheepishly walk over and had to let us know that he'd hit the TV. So kind of in making trying to make a bit of a big swing. Now maybe my fault because I was challenging him on to check out his swing speed, and so I think he was making a step back and a big old swing and a little bit of a wild follow through, and he clipped the TV. So he had to allocate some allowance money to that cause for a little bit, and learned a little bit of a lesson about being aware of your surroundings and that kind of thing. Anyway, that was just a minor embarrassment for us, but no harm, no foul.
Yeah. I remember going into junior tournament play with my son. At the time, he was 7. He's 18 now, but his club went flying forward off the tee on a par 3. He let go of it as he hit the ball, and the club went farther than the ball. So that was one of his. I'm standing there. All the parents are standing there. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I think I recall a few of my clubs going further than balls before too.
It happens. Yeah, I mean, you golf long enough, and I mean, you get a little bit of everything. So
yeah, especially in my 20s. Yeah, there was I've grown out of the rage golf, thankfully.
I remember when I used to live out in BC. Well, Mark, let's get back to you very quickly before we sign off. Where can people get engaged and follow up with the PGA of British Columbia and any initiatives that you have going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, our main social media account would be on Instagram. So at PGA of BC, you can find us there. On the website, pgabc.org. And we're actually just in the process of redoing that. So we'll have a brand new website that launches here over the next couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, which we're excited for. Yeah, just a fresh look, kind of better organized information and updated, take the chance to update everything there. Because we are going to be a little bit more public facing and community engagement. So, kind of readjusting that platform makes a lot more sense. So, both our website or our Instagram account would be the main ways to keep in touch with what the PGA BC is doing. And because you'll see more and more. Actually, this year we're going to be introducing a bunch of member-led content. So there should be some fun on the socials there, whether it's some of our matches and some of our other.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So, if the public want to check us out there, we'd love to have them.
Excellent. We'll post all these links in the description so people can find them easily and help you with some of your local SEO.
Yeah, very much appreciated.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming on. We're really thrilled that you came on and to share your experiences and what you guys are doing. Keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll get a golf game in sometime soon.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, gentlemen. Anytime you do, come out to BC, please let us know. And then, Mike, you'll get an invitation to the social media day. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you then.
I'll be there. Let's try to get around in this summer too. I'm over at Kings Links, so if you feel like getting blown around in the wind.
Yeah. Actually, Graham, our marketing communications manager, is going to play out there a bunch this year as well. So I'm sure we'll
team up with me. I'll go. Let's get out there.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks again, gentlemen.
Take care.
Cheers.
Well, that was really great. I think Mark's got some great initiatives with the PGA of British Columbia. It's pretty exciting to hear him talk about all those programs and what they have to do with women and juniors, as well as all their professional events and their educational aspect for their PGA professionals coming up in the ranks and learning about the sport and giving back to the game. I think it's really important.
These provincial organizations are key into growing the game, into educating the kids, and especially there's a huge push to get young girls into the game. To break through any intimidation barriers that might be there, but it's people like Mark and all the other PGA professionals of Canada who put in the time. They're the soldiers that are really growing the game.
No, you got that right. Well, Mike, so much to talk about. I mean, I read out a couple of those headlines. I'm not too sure which one you'd want to tackle.
Well,
exactly.
Everyone likes to talk about somebody. And I'm going to pull up a clip about the golf.
Are you talking about this guy?
Yeah, the big bad orange man, as everyone likes to call it. I'm going to pull up the golf course and see if we can get some clips on what happened there, and we'll look at it.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Phil Mickelson at the Masters. I'll tell you really quickly, though. Phil Mickelson, it'll be really cool to see him play.
Yes, I agree. He's one of the greatest, man. Like, you can't deny that. And,
no.
You want to hate on him for going to live. Look at him in the sunglasses there, right? He just looks like a badass. I like this new.
Well, look, he's 54 years old. It's pretty inspiring. He's a great player. I love to watch him on social media as well.
Yeah.
with all the things that he has to say and show. I just watched What's in His Bag, which was posted a couple of days ago on his channel, and he goes through all his bags. And I think he's in his backyard where he's got this whole turf set up, and he's got greens with a 6-foot circle around them every 25 yards, going all the way out to like 150 yards. It's really cool.
So I'm going to pop up a clip here. It's only 40 seconds. We're going to take a look, and it appears to be showing the vandalism. So let's take a peek here.
Okay. No, I don't. Well, this is out in Scotland.
Gaza
is not for sale. I see. Okay. Yeah. Well,
brush they used on that.
He's certainly ruffled a lot of feathers with what he's doing with Doge and his whole team of people from ICE to Doge to all the executive orders that were placed and State of the Union address and whatnot. But I'll tell you, everybody's got their opinion about him, and it's always fun when he talks golf, when he uses it as an analogy. I'll tell you, it makes some of the best social media clips as a golfer.
We don't really talk politics here. It's kind of a really divisive topic these days, but I'll say that man can make you laugh sometimes. He's got that picture in his office too, which is hilarious. He's got it framed.
Picture of himself.
Yeah, no, it's funny, not funny. It's a weird time. But someone painted a message on his golf course. So apparently Gaza's not for sale, and nor is Canada.
Yeah, that's right. But going back to the big win with Henley, I think he's sort of under the radar with what he's accomplished. He's a quiet golfer. His all-around game is outstanding, right? And he's now a top 10 player. Not only is he, whether he believes it or not, he is there. And I'm excited to watch him play, to see him hit the ball, to see that, sort of like a quiet confidence on what he shows when he goes out to play. And but he's moved to number 7 in the official world golf rankings, number 2 in the FedEx Cup with this victory. It's almost hard to comprehend it, right? Because he wasn't really on the radar.
He's kind of was a silent assassin this weekend, right? Like you don't really expect Russell Henley to be in the mix. You're probably not going to pick him to win. Maybe on your DraftKings team or something like that. But this week he really showed it. He had a bit of luck, which you need to win, right? He holed out from off the green and bunkers. He had a couple of really, key moments, which any golfer knows you kind of need those. But when it came down to it, him and Morikawa, they had some challenging putts to hole out. And his putt to win was long enough to make you shake. And he made it. If he had missed that putt and went to a playoff, the momentum changes on Morikawa's side immensely. So he clutched up, made that putt, and it's pretty cool to see his 3 kids. The youngest daughter, I'm assuming, they ran out onto the green, and it's got to be a pretty cool feeling as young parents to take down a huge purse like that, life-changing purse, and points, and he's vaulted into one of the top players of the game. So very cool.
Just a quick note on Rio Takada. It seems like she'll be becoming more of a household name. She's from Japan, wins in China. It's her 2nd win. So congratulations to her. I don't follow the LPGA all that much, Mike. So I can't tell you too much about that. However, congratulations to her.
Now, apparently they're using AI as a course setup tool for the players, which I just saw this morning. We have a short clip here. I think, why don't we pop this on? and we can talk through it.
Okay, well, that's
Let's
interesting.
try this out.
Excellent.
So I
Excellent.
put the sound
rules
on.
and competitions and tournament administration. And then as it relates to my work here at the Players, I'll be the lead official in all the coordinations with our own operational teams here. We are trying to lean into as much technology to help our officials in the field, and we've seen some really nice innovations over the years. So the AI course setup tool is the latest piece of technology which is hitting the laps of our field staff. And what this allows us to do is hole by hole, to sort of have a bit of a glimpse into the future of, if we set up a hole this way, what would it look like? On some of the changes that we've made here at TPC Sawgrass, we can run some simulations to give us a gauge for how that hole is going to play across the standard of player that is going to be competing in the Players' Championship. The other element that it allows us to do is we make more architectural changes. We can lean into what would be the outcome if we did this? Additional bunkers, narrowing of fairways, adding in of other trees or landforms to challenge the player in different ways. What is the impact of making those changes before we go to the lengths of spending huge amounts of time and energy and resources in making these changes? A lot of our analytics typically have been post-event. It's really super challenging for us to predict the future in terms of what.
Well, that's something
Isn't
else,
it?
I think it's pretty cool to see the innovation happening along with the technology and the change in the course. It's very
Well,
neat. Very
especially
neat
when they're going to make
indeed.
changes to a golf course, when you can run it
Mm.
through AI applications to visualize how an impact is going to affect the golf course is amazing. So, and when you think about it, whether, I mean, AI is here, so many people are starting to use it in their daily lives, their business, whatever it might be. It is very helpful. I use it, but to see it applied in golf in terms of design and course, I think is really interesting. So I'm looking forward to see where this goes.
Absolutely. Finally, maybe we should finish on social media golf because it's still blowing me away on how much it's changing. I don't know if you're able to pull up one of the Grant Horvat promo videos over on YouTube, if we could play it for a little bit. But I find what he's doing specifically and what players he's getting together with is quite incredible. And when I think of what he's doing, I think it's like every guy's dream who's a content creator. Not only is he gone out to TPC Sawgrass and had an edition on that he's posted just a few hours ago. He's played with John Daly recently. We're talking in the last 2 weeks. John Daly, Phil Mickelson. 2 months ago he played with Tiger Woods, which had over 2 million streams.
Yeah.
Where Tiger Woods teaches him how to hit a shot straight. Like, what would be the feeling of just like, standing there and doing that with him? Rory McIlroy shared his driving secrets. Obviously, they get together with Bob Does Sports as well. So Grant Horvat, obviously old friends with Garrett Clark and playing different Florida golf courses. I really think it's cool. I think it's really cool.
That's my favorite shot
Yeah.
in golf. So
I
Like,
think that we.
Here's a
I think
snippet.
both spots.
I've
both
watched
are
all
good.
of this.
Bodie yards.
It was really entertaining.
Oh, this is great. Isn't that outstanding?
Oh,
Oh,
is there a backstop there?
like
Not when you.
John showed up 30
Oh,
minutes
that's pretty
late,
bad. I get it.
rolls
Okay.
Yes,
right onto
that's
the
right.
tee box.
That's right. But Phil just pops them in.
Get on up there. Shot, son.
I don't want to
That'll work.
spoil this for you
take
guys,
it.
but on
So
the
there's
first
all
and
this
second hole,
slope
Right here.
left to right early.
Phil
Yeah.
pops
And,
it
and
in.
you may want to
You
use
believe
that if you want. I'm going to try to fly it a little bit further and take that out. I've got it because we have a good lie.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I can open the face, and my cut spin is working back into the slope.
Right.
To help stop it. So rather than hit a releaser, I'm going to try to just fly it a
Let's
little
just
closer
watch
to the
this
hole and
shot
stop
here.
it.
Guys, pay attention. Pay attention to learn.
Oh.
He's got a great sign. His stance is a little
Do
bit
it.
open. He gets down.
Hey, pick ours up, will you? We'll go to the next hole.
We should probably work on that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
we
our
should.
strongest move.
Yeah, Phil, we got to
That's
work
almost
on
on
that.
the fly,
Yeah.
Mike.
That's a
right?
start.
Perfect
Oh,
landing,
my God.
rolls in.
Yeah.
For two.
I mean, look how aggressive his swing was. He got that perfectly.
Right now. Yep.
High
Yeah,
flyer,
yeah.
landed with a little check and trickled into the hole.
That's the Phil Mickelson.
And look at these guys.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It
Wow.
was very entertaining.
Phil holds it out. I think that's about right.
John Jr. is
I thought I'd set them up.
Incredible
great
golfer.
golfer.
You know, you can't
Incredible
win
golfer.
money if you
Good
don't
kid.
play.
I hope
Good
we see
kid.
him
You know?
get on the tour.
Thank you, sir.
I think that would be
Phil, we
really
got to work
cool.
on that.
Yeah.
We need to figure this out.
But these guys,
That beard, I tell you, that beard is incredible.
but they just have this match just like any of us do with our local buddies, and it was really fun to watch. There's some of these. A couple weeks ago, they had their tournament on TV as well. That had some really interesting moments. Golf, how we view our golf is totally changing. TGL is new and exciting. There's a lot of young players, sort of young fans out there who are being entertained with this new entrance to the golf scene with the influencers, and maybe not we're in that middle generation where we're connected to some of the younger generation, and understand it and are fans of it, but also respect the tradition, and we're golf historians in terms of traditional golf and statistics and all of that. So, but it's really interesting to see how this grows, and it's not going anywhere. There's a lot of money being put into these characters, as we talked about earlier, from Callaway and other manufacturers. They have huge marketing budgets backed by data in terms of how they're going to spend their money, and they see it. So there's only more and more of this to come.
Well, that's why we're seeing all these players, affiliating themselves with these social media influencers and golfers on YouTube, because it actually expands their brand. It helps grow the game. They've got the views. It brings in a newer audience and demographic, which is always cool. I think this is a great way to end the episode. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to the players. And if you're watching or listening, make sure you subscribe. It's a great way to help us. Send us your comments. Send us your info. We'd love to hear it. And a very special thanks once again today to Tea Time Teas, our episode sponsor for today. We watched the video. It's a great product. Make sure you pick it up or check it out on their website. All the links are going to be listed below in the stream. So that's very exciting. And for Michael Bleakley, I'm Raphael Calamat. You've been listening and watching the Golf Podcast Live.
Thank you. We'll see you next week with Gary Williams.
Oh, Gary Williams next week. We got Mark Immelman and John Cook coming up at the end of the month.
Gary's a great historian. Can't wait to it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.